the Day 1 Global Virtual Summit 2025. I hope you are enjoying the speaker presentations today. So let me introduce you to the audience. Welcome on stage, Lisa. So Lisa
Thank
presents the title Embracing Somatic Practices and Mindset Techniques to Harness Authentic Intuitive Feminine Empowerment. She is a icon of resilience, transformation, and holistic well-being. Having turned personal adversity into a source of strength, she founded Intune Yoga, a groundbreaking movement practice that bridges somatic healing with mindset shifts. Her work empowers women to embrace their authentic feminine energy, heal from trauma, and step into their true power with grace and confidence. So that was a great topic. So welcome on stage. The stage is all yours. Good luck.
Thank you so much, and thank you for joining me here today. Now, I'm hopeful that these slides will be running alongside. How do I actually see that that's happening? Hopefully they are. I can't see them showing up right now, but there is a presentation there loaded. So hopefully that will run through with me. Otherwise, I can share that as a resource as well. So, yeah, again, thank you for joining me here. Okay. I want to start by asking your question. When was the last time you felt truly authentically yourself in a leadership role? For many of us, the answer may be really or never. We've been conditioned to believe that leadership means adopting traditional masculine traits, being strong, assertive, task-oriented, and transactional. While these qualities have their place, they represent only some of what can be offered within the leadership spectrum. Today, we are going to consider this traditional leadership paradigm and explore how to access and embrace our authentic feminine power in leadership, whilst exploring the impact of unhealed trauma. Firstly, let me introduce myself through my personal story. My name is Lisa Tregenza. My journey to understanding authentic feminine leadership began on my yoga mat during what I thought was my breaking point. In reality, it was my breakthrough. As a survivor of intimate partner abuse, PTSD, anxiety, depression, I had spent years trying to fit into a mold that wasn't made for me. I was the perfect example of a woman trying to do it all, having pursued a successful corporate career, married, living behind the white picket fence, and now with 3 children under the age of 20 months and running my own business. From the outside, I may have looked like I had it all, yet I was dying inside. I wasn't listening to my intuition. I was dealing with significant trauma, and I was wearing the mask of motherhood. Then one day on my yoga mat, I finally gave myself permission to feel it all. My body released a waterfall of emotion, and I embraced my new reality as a solo mum. I didn't have the answers, but I knew in my heart that I would protect my kids and myself, and we would be okay. The simple act of allowing myself to be vulnerable became the foundation of my transformation. I knew I needed to take off the mask of motherhood, of society's expectations, and what had become a mind prison I had trapped myself in. I needed to feel it all in order to heal it, for there to be a change in the way I led as a mother and a business owner. The aim of this presentation is to examine how women leaders can learn to release restrictive old narratives and limiting beliefs, as well as addressing unhealed trauma, utilizing somatic practices, so they're able to cultivate their natural strengths and bring forward their inherent intuition and wisdom. The psychological and social barriers that may inhibit authentic expression of feminine leadership qualities will be addressed. Firstly, let's clarify the meaning of trauma and somatic practice for the purposes of this presentation. Emotional trauma is a response to experiencing a distressing event or multiple events. Stress can impact your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors and affect how you function in your environment. People can lose self-confidence and their ability to cope with their environment. The severity of emotional trauma can vary from one person to another. Somatic practices have a body focus. They utilize body awareness, mindful movement, and breath work to release trauma stored in the body. And this is where trauma-informed yoga practice is incredibly powerful. Traditional talk therapy relies mainly on dialogue between the therapist and the client, employing a cognitive and behavioral approach, a mind focus. So we're now understanding with more research into trauma therapy that the body stores trauma, which then leads us to understand that the body is the pathway to release trauma. Hence why yoga therapy, using yoga as therapy to release, is such a wonderful somatic practice. Let's also consider the word leader. I searched for the definition and found quite a variance. One definition: a leader leads by example, showing others how to proceed and coaches them. They delegate tasks to others, they direct others from a position of authority, and a good leader can be supportive and help team members achieve their goals. Another definition: a leader is an individual who coaches, guides, inspires, and influences others towards a shared vision. They embody traits like integrity, empathy, resilience, and decisiveness. They set the direction, but also foster collaboration and empower team members. The second definition feels like it sways more towards divine feminine energy, and the first definition perhaps towards more divine male energy. Neither is right or wrong, just different perspectives from the people that wrote them. I want to consider our first leader, our mother. She nurtures us within the womb and then showers us with love, feeding us and leading the way into this world, guiding us with our eating and sleeping habits and our communication. If there wasn't love, we wouldn't get our basic needs met, shelter and food. She leads us to safety and to growth. I feel it's important to consider all leaders in our community, as so often the mother's role is not truly valued. When talking of leadership, sometimes we only consider leaders in the workplace. Yet these same leaders in the workplace who are also mothers lead at work and at home. They lead the nutrition needs of our children. They lead the emotional shaping of our children and their thought patterns, the development of the neural pathways in their brains, simply by their presence and conscious communications with their babies. When we relook at where leaders begin, we start to see how important the aspects of empathy, connection, and intuition are for our leaders in the world. Let's now consider the current leadership paradigm. The traditional leadership model was created during a time when not many women were in the workplace. Their workplace was the home. In the home, women were able to listen to their body's rhythm and their children's needs. They weren't on duty just from 9 to 5. They were on call 24/7. Yet they were surrounded by other women and could listen more closely to their menstrual cycles. For example, allowing for more activity during the ovulation stage and more rest during the bleed. Yet now, when women are in the workplace, there is an expectation that our cycles fit within a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday structure, which does not harness our natural energy flow and changes within our monthly cycles, missing out on the ability to play to our strengths within the month. It's no wonder that many of us feel like we're wearing ill-fitting suits when we try to conform to these structures and expectations of showing up the same each day, each week, when our natural cycle is monthly. What we often see as professional behavior is actually a manifestation of masculine energy, linear thinking, hierarchical structures, and competitive mindsets. While these approaches have their merits, and we as humans have masculine energy and feminine energy, it is the cost of suppressing these natural feminine strengths and cycles, the collaboration, emotional intelligence, holistic thinking, that is challenging. And this is what is having an impact on us in the workplace and as leaders. So let's now consider the impact of unhealed trauma within this paradigm. Understanding that trauma could have been experienced within the workplace itself in the form of bullying or sexual harassment, or within the home from intimate partner abuse or from unhealed childhood wounds, such as conditional love, silent treatment, or physical abuse, to name a few. Wounds can show up as rejection, abandonment, humiliation, betrayal, and injustice, which can become core wounds of feeling not enough, unlovable, unsafe, unseen, and unheard. Core wounds are beliefs we hold about ourselves on a subconscious level. This could show up as, I'm not good enough, or I will be abandoned. These wounds can be a result of emotional pain and traumatic experiences we had growing up, and they permeate into our lives and impact our perceptions and actions in relation to ourselves and others. Unhealed trauma is stored in the body and can show up in different levels of pain or disorders, such as gastrointestinal disorders, body pain in our arms, back, shoulders. It could be in headaches, chest pain, fatigue from sleep disturbances. Other expressions of trauma can present in other ways. This could look like anxiety, depression, flashbacks, anger, confusion, fearfulness, fatigue, grief, difficulty concentrating and making decisions. So all of these symptoms have an impact on how we perform in our jobs and in our leadership roles. Unhealed trauma can generate coping mechanisms such as people pleasing, not speaking up, not sharing our voice, not being assertive, not trusting our gut feelings or our intuition. So we can see when we are holding on to unhealed trauma, our body can become more tense. Our mind is not clear, and we are not operating from our optimum feminine essence. With our intuition and empathy, especially if our trust and boundaries have been violated in the past. When we look at our core beliefs or limiting beliefs, we understand that our mindset is also an important aspect to consider in our healing process. And this is where movement and mindset together can be an incredibly powerful healing modality. Which takes me back to my breakthrough on my yoga mat. Those many years ago, when I embraced my somatic yoga movements with affirmations, I was able to create space for releasing trauma through the body, movement, shaking, dancing, releasing, creating space. And then in time, embodying different yoga asanas with new beliefs, affirmations. And this practice transformed me into my embodied self. And Shun Yoga Daily, with this combination of movement and mindset, was born as a unique somatic practice and became a successful program and app I launched. It is something that I feel intuitively embody so much that it is my daily practice. It is what keeps me grounded, calm, peaceful. And somatic practice is based on the understanding that our bodies hold our experiences, including our traumas and limiting beliefs. When we say, trust your gut, follow your heart, we're actually acknowledging this mind-body connection. Let me guide you through a brief exercise. I invite you to find a comfortable seated position. So just take a moment to find that place. Got a few cushions behind me here, so let me just adjust myself as well. Here I am with my suit jacket on, and we are embracing these somatic practices. And this is the thing that our when we learn these somatic practices and we understand that we can embrace these somatic practices wherever we are, it really is a wonderful technique that we can carry with us in any moment. So let me share this simple exercise now where we are going to connect in with our breath. So finding that comfortable seat. And yeah, you can jiggle around. And this is the thing, jiggling, moving is actually clearing energy. So that's a great place to start if you need to get those jiggles out, a bit of movement. And then coming into the body. So I've actually uncrossed my legs. I'm sitting now with my hands on my thighs. And I invite you to either bring the gaze down, or you may like to close your eyes, depending on where you're at, making sure you're safe and comfortable to do that. And then bring your awareness to your breath. So simply just being the observer, noticing, acknowledging. Is it a deep breath? Is it a slow breath? Is it shallow? Is it fast? So just simply bringing awareness and acknowledging the breath. And then releasing the breath, letting the breath flow out through the mouth. Take an inhale. Pause. Exhale through the mouth. Pause. I'll count this time. Inhale through the nose. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Once more. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. And now just bring awareness to your body. Notice where you may be feeling tension in your body. You may even like to bring one hand to your heart. Just notice where you're feeling any tension, tightness, uncomfortableness. Or it could be that you're feeling expanded and spacious. So it's bringing awareness to this present moment, how you're feeling in this moment in your body. The curious thing is the tension. So this tension can represent where we're holding on to unhelpful stories and beliefs about ourselves. So this could be the unprocessed emotion, the trauma, which can impact our leadership potential. Maybe it's in your shoulders, carrying the weight of perfectionism and responsibility. Perhaps it's in your throat, holding back your authentic voice. It could be tightness in your chest, which could represent anxiety or grief. Headaches could come about from a sense of losing control or a feeling of fear. Stomach pain could come about from not trusting your intuition, not trusting our gut feel. This awareness is the first step in somatic healing. Through practices like mindful movement, breath work, trauma-informed yoga, embodied awareness, we can then release these physical manifestations of our limiting beliefs and our unhealed trauma. So as we heal, we are more able to connect into our feminine essence, our intuition. We learn to trust it again. We become more aware of our senses, our ability to consider more than just facts. And when we consider more than just facts, we are really bringing in that sense of understanding, our sixth sense, if you like, that it's not just about facts, it's actually about reading a situation, knowing, trusting, gut feel. It's that moment, like the book with Malcolm Gladwell, that was such a wonderful moment for me, reading that book, Blink, and the innate wisdom we have as empaths, as we're in our feminine leadership or feminine essence, that we just have a sense of knowing this wisdom is there. And that can be harnessed in our leadership potential and our leadership, so that we're bringing in, yes, the divine masculine energy as well as the divine feminine energy. So we're able to embrace, as well as these aspects of intuition, gut feel, knowledge, wisdom, also our monthly cycles, and play into our seasons within this. The winter, the summer, when we're active, when we rest, and allowing other women to do the same. So when we're healing, when we heal, we're able to stay steady and calm in the face of challenges or stress. Another great leadership trait. When we heal our relationship with our bodies and our feminine essence, we naturally transform our leadership style. We begin to trust our intuition as valid business intelligence. We value connection and collaboration over competition. We embrace cyclical thinking and natural rhythms. We lead with empathy and emotional wisdom, creating inclusive, supportive environments. This isn't about rejecting masculine qualities. It's about finding balance and choosing consciously when to employ different approaches. Let's consider some practical implementation, the practical ways that we can begin this journey of embracing our feminine essence and applying this into our leadership behaviors. So what we've just experienced with our somatic breathing, our box breathing that I shared with you, this is a great way of starting our day with a daily body check-in. So we can start each day with a moment for us, giving to ourselves first. We start each day with a moment to connect into our body's wisdom, to listen to it, to nurture it. So we start with our breath, just like we did before, taking that moment for us, giving to us first, checking in. How are you feeling? How is your body feeling? How's your heart feeling? Where are you feeling this tension? Is there any tension or is it joy? Embrace that. Allow that to guide you. You know, it's also important that when we heal, we create more space for joy. So when we're in joy, we are able to lead in our magnetic energy. And that is so inspiring. So let's look at where we're feeling the tension, as this can provide clues to our emotional state. If we're feeling tense, if we're feeling joyful, we may feel we have an open heart. So it gives us clues to our emotional state when we really take a moment to feel, to connect in with our body through our breath. And then it's also knowing that with what is happening in the body, when we take a moment to recognize, it gives us clues to how we can release any pain or tension. So what is it telling our body about upcoming decisions or challenges? Are we feeling tight, tense, confused? So then we can use other tools with movement. It could be through a vinyasa, strong flow. It could be a powerful class. It could be going for a run, a walk, whatever it needs, a shaking, even dancing. All of these are beautiful somatic practices that we can release tension. And this is so important because then we can be so much more focused. We can be connecting much more into our inner calm. So I encourage you each day to pause, breathe, and listen. Listen to you, listen to your intuition, listen to your inner guide, listen to your feminine essence, listen, and then take aligned action from that place. I also encourage you to consider your boundaries. Notice where you're saying yes from obligation rather than authentic desire. So the sense of practicing saying no with grace and confidence. This is where a clear throat chakra helps so much with that. That was certainly one area that I did a lot of work in my healing so that I found my voice, giving me opportunities like this to speak and share my knowledge, my experience with my clients and my training, my study that I have done. The other thing I really want to touch on is community building, creating or joining circles with women who support each other's growth, such as local networking events, and celebrate each other's success. Well, we can do everything as women. We don't need to do everything, and we don't need to do it alone. Asking for help, whether that is in our healing journey or our leadership growth, enables us to be the best version of ourselves. Feel, heal, and lead with your true feminine superpowers. As I conclude, I want to share a vision with you. Imagine a world where women leaders show up fully as themselves, where intuition is valued alongside data, where vulnerability is seen as strength, and where success is measured not just in profits, but in positive impact. This isn't just a dream. It starts with each of us choosing to embrace our authentic feminine power. When we heal ourselves, we heal our organizations. When we lead from our truth, we create space for others to do the same. Remember, you're not just transforming your own leadership journey, you're contributing to a more balanced and inclusive leadership landscape for all. Thank you so much for being part of this journey with me today, sharing these somatic practices and the mindset techniques that help us to really embrace our true feminine leadership. I'm Lisa Tregenza, and I do open the floor to any questions and answers. Oh, well, there will be answers, hopefully. Open the floor to any questions.
Yes, thank you so much, Lisa, for the enlightening speech today. Yes, we do have a question from our audience. Here is the question. How do you integrate yoga and mindfulness into leadership development?
Into leadership development?
Yes.
Whew, great question. Big question. So, well, what I do find is that I'm being asked more to speak at corporate events. So, allowing people to be more aware of how yoga can strengthen our core, inner core strength. So when we embrace physical movement and we embrace mindset, so it could be this feeling of I can lead with strength and intuition. So that could be the new mindset that we embody, that we want to take forward. How do we then feel that in our body? And that is where an affirmation, a mantra like that, I would embrace with a warrior two pose. So we're like out here leading like this. And what I love about warrior two is that you're looking right down your middle finger. You are leading. You're leading the way. There's strength. You're grounded. You're strong in your core. So you're feeling all of this energy drawing from the land, and you're feeling that energy rising in your body, and you're engaging your mind at the same time. This is what I do with the movement and mindset technique. So in Tune Yoga Daily. And that is where we find the true embodiment of leadership, of transforming people from good leaders to great leaders.
Yes, thank you so much for explaining the question in a detailed manner. So thank you so much for your great presentation with the Day 1 Global Virtual Summit 2025. So please do join our next speaker sessions and encourage them as well.
Thank
So
you so
please
much.
do join our next speaker, Thalia, and post your questions.